What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Destroy with Astro DFS. Gonna bring you a different video yesterday. Had some things come up at home, so I'm just combining two videos, and we're just gonna go over quarterbacks and running backs in this video. So I'll try to make it a quicker video. That way, it's not super long. So let's just get right into it. Russell Wilson, probably the only 7K quarterback playing this week. Mahomes, I doubt he plays if they play in there. Crazy playing against Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, who are one of the worst pass defenses in the league. If they were up at 8 games with all the other teams, they'd probably have still the worst pass defense in the league. As far as yardage, they've allowed 2,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, only intercepted 5 times, and Russell Wilson has just been really consistent all year of dominating teams. So if you're willing to pay 7.1K for a quarterback again this week, Deshaun Watson was the quarterback last week that you paid up for. Russell Wilson, sure, play him again. Patrick Mahomes, we don't expect to play. Aaron Rodgers playing against the Chargers. Chargers defense has been iffy. Their touchdown interception rate is 12-7, which is a little bit worrying. And the Chargers that are at home, but Aaron Rodgers has just been really, really slinging the ball this year. When he needs to lead his team to a victory, you could see just games where it's competitive for the most part. If the running backs don't take over like Aaron Jones did, Aaron Jones against Dallas, he doesn't do what he did. Rodgers' numbers improve. Rodgers has had injuries. He's supposed to get Devontae Adams back this week, I believe. So makes me love Aaron Rodgers even more. I hate Aaron Rodgers, being a Bears fan, but fantasy-wise, great quarterback here. Matt Stafford against Oakland. Matt Stafford has been playing so good lately. And they're going against Oakland, and Oakland's defense has been getting exposed lately. Deshaun Watson didn't do what everyone thought they were going to do against Oakland, but with no running game, no real running game. Matt Stafford's a great play at 6,800 on the road against Oakland, whose defense is just terrible. And if their offense is bad, that means their defense has to be on the field even more. So, yeah, loving some Matt Stafford there. Kirk Cousins against Kansas City. Kirk Cousins is on fire. If he has both his weapons of Thielen and Diggs, playing against one of the worst pass defenses in the league. They've been getting a little better here and there. Their touchdown interception rate is 11-6. And Kirk Cousins at any time can go back to the old Kirk Cousins, like we saw last week. No touchdowns, only 285 yards, and only got us 11 fantasy points if you played him. But he's on the road. It should be another competitive game, so he should have to be playing pretty good there to keep up with Kansas City, especially when KC's home. Josh Allen, a really good matchup here, 6,500 against Washington. Washington's defense has been pretty good. I don't want to say they're elite, but man, they look really, really good. They held a San Francisco team to 9 points when Carolina just let them score 50. So, yeah, with no offense for Washington, that definitely makes you love any other opposition going against them. But Josh Allen, we've really yet to see him just explode. 6,500, you're paying a lot for somebody that's only got 20 plus points 2 games, and the highest was 22. So, yeah, you're taking a big risk, hoping his either rushing upside or he's going to pass for some touchdowns there. So, Jameis Winston against Seattle. I'm not going to play Jameis here. His price point is way too high for me to even consider him. Playing Seattle, whose defense, pass defense is terrible as far as yardage. Third in the league with 100 yards allowed. But their touchdown and interception rate is 9-7, and Jameis Winston is definitely a guy that could turn the ball over a lot, especially if pressured. Sam Darnold questionable against Miami. I did not see this. I don't see Darnold sitting. He's playing Miami. They're, in my opinion, they're going to run the ball with Bell here. So you could play Darnold, but with the thumb injury, and they're playing Miami, I can honestly see a good run script here. Carson Wentz against Chicago. This game's going to be really competitive. Philly's playing at home. The Bears defense is, shaky. I just don't want to play anybody against them, and especially with the way Carson Wentz has been playing this season, fantasy point wise, it's just not something promising. He's thrown for over less than 200 yards in 4 of his last 5 games, and the most touchdowns he's thrown is 2. So that brings some question marks there, especially against Chicago's defense, who at any time can lock down a team. Jacoby Brissett going against Pittsburgh's defense. I mean, if Miami can score against Pittsburgh twice in the first quarter, then yeah, Jacoby Brissett's a good play here. 5,600. Just don't expect him to have that 4 touchdown game every game. Derek Carr against Detroit. Now, normally, Detroit's defense, they're another defense that you play them a full game. They're probably one of the worst pass defenses in the league. 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But Derek Carr has just been looking weird. He got taken out of the game against Green Bay, got injured, I think it was. And then last week started off, I think 1 for 5, 1 for 6, came back, 3 touchdowns, almost hit their 300-yard mark. If he's playing good and they don't run the ball, Derek Carr's a great play here at 5,500, really saving you some salary for some guy that can easily get you 20 points. Ryan Tannehill against Carolina. I don't like this matchup just because Carolina's defense just got blown out. They're at home, and they're playing against a quarterback to where they have game script on them, and Tennessee's offense isn't good at all, so I'm definitely liking Carolina's defense here. Kyle Allen playing Tennessee's defense? No. Titans defense allow a decent amount of yards, 20-58, but their touchdown interception rate is 12-8. And Kyle Allen hasn't been, they're clearly going on Christian McCaffrey, so. Baker Mayfield playing Denver's defense. I kind of like this. Baker Mayfield, I had the highest hopes for in the world. But he's going to be going against a really, really good defense here. One of the best pass defenses in the league. When no trades going on and Denver being home, you kind of go away from Baker Mayfield, but he always has that potential. So it might be a really good GPP play there at 5,100. Philip Rivers playing against Green Bay. That Chargers offense just hasn't looked good at all. It's weird. They got all their weapons. Keenan Allen, granted, was questionable, but they still have Hunter Henry, Williams, Eckler, Gordon. And that offense just doesn't look good. Trubisky, GPP play there, 5,000, going against one of the worst pass defenses in the league. And he hasn't looked good, which is why his price is there. But at any time, that offense can explode. Mason Rudolph, another 5,000 playing against Indianapolis. I don't like it just because the only reason I might like it is because the entire running back core there is hurt, so they might have to pass the ball. But we'll just have to see with injuries there. Then the other person, Matt Moore, 4,800, just too much of a risk at Minnesota. Yeah, just too much of a risk. Let's go over running back guys here. Christian McCaffrey at 10,000. Can't remember the last time we've seen a 10,000 running back. I think it was Todd Gurley last year. But yeah, 10,000 playing against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans' run game isn't spectacular at all. Are they a team that I'm wanting to play against in the run game? Maybe. It's Christian McCaffrey though, so he does whatever he wants. We saw that last week. But 10,000, I just don't think I could play that. Dalvin Cook, 9,500 against terrible run defense, and I think Dalvin Cook might be worth that 9,500 this week. Man, he's 9,500. That just, wow. Le'Veon Bell, 7,700. I think this is going to be one of the best plays this week. Not only they're playing Miami, Le'Veon Bell is that number 1 running back where he gets like 90% of the carries. Sam Darnold, I said the thumb injury, so making me love Le'Veon Bell there even more. Watch. I'm not going to talk about any Pittsburgh running backs. Watch whoever's playing. Good play there against Indianapolis. Mason Rudolph isn't a good quarterback. He's just been filling in. Done a decent job at filling in, but I'd rather go Pittsburgh running back here against the Colts. Colts have a pretty good run defense, but I'm still confident there. Nick Chubb, 7,300. Guess what? We love it. Only reason we love it, the Broncos' pass defense, really good. Their run defense, it's a different story. They allow a lot of yards. Not up there in yards, but like I continuously say, Nick Chubb's the only consistent thing in that Cleveland offense. 7,300, good price there. Chris Carson against Tampa Bay's run defense. Tampa Bay has a really good run defense. And I don't know if Carson can live up to that 7,200 price point here against that terrible pass offense, but the run or pass defense, I'm sorry. The run defense is just really good at blocking up that middle. Aaron Jones, man, the man has started off slow this season, but he's just kicked it up a whole notch. 2 games with over 40 points, which is crazy. Both games on the road. They're on the road again. So look for either Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams in a really good matchup here against the Chargers. Josh Jacobs against the Detroit Lions. Guess what? Detroit Lions number 2 in fantasy points allowed to running backs. Josh Jacobs is a guy that we've seen carry the flow of the team, and he can easily do it again. We've seen him get 24 plus points in 2 games, and get at least 10 in the rest of them. Except for week 2 and 3, that was just a weird couple weeks from that offense. Marlon Mack playing against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's run defense locked down. And Marlon Mack, we've just seen him be way too inconsistent at 6,300. I just don't like the price point. Austin Eckler and Gordon, we could just say we'll go over. Packers allow a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns to running backs. Eckler is the more favorable running back with him playing in the slot all the time, getting those receptions. Even with Gordon being back, we just haven't seen Gordon play good. 6,000 Austin Eckler isn't a bad play there at all. Talked about Jamal Williams, Derrick Henry playing against Carolina's run defense. Carolina has allowed the most rushing touchdowns to running backs this season. Derrick Henry might have to get a majority of that workload this week playing against Carolina, who has a better pass defense than they do run defense. So definitely at 5,700, really good price point for a guy who has really good potential. Philip Lindsay playing the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns don't allow a lot of rushing touchdowns to running backs, only 4. And with Royce Freeman being there, it's hard to say if who's going to get the touchdowns. If Philip Lindsay can get 1 or 2 touchdowns at 5,300, a really good play, but it's just hard to say with who's going to get the rushing touchdowns there. David Montgomery had an explosive week last week. They are on the road. He's 5,200, and Philly's rush defense is really, really good. I just expect the Bears to just go all out and try to pass over Philly and build Trubisky's confidence. They have to. It's the make or break it week this week, so Chicago has to win this week. So expect Trubisky to do a lot more than Montgomery. Jordan Howard. No, don't get me wrong. Bears have a really good rushing defense. They don't allow a lot of yards. They allow a lot of touchdowns and receptions to running backs. Guess what? Jordan Howard's not a receiving running back, but guess what? Jordan Howard is playing his former team who traded him away for David Montgomery. Jordan Howard is a guy that we've seen get some touchdowns. 6 touchdowns this year, averaging 55 yards per game. He's a guy, if you're paying $5,000, guess what? He's going to get you at least 10 points this game. I guarantee it. They're playing. The only way I can't see it is if Philly just turns the ball over a lot. That's the only way. But Jordan Howard is going to rush all over his former team here. Matson, the only reason you play him is if Dalvin Cook starts popping up on the questionable list and looks banged up going into the game. Even if Dalvin Cook plays in the game, Matson's still a good play. We've seen him get a decent amount of workload. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, getting at least 12, 13 carries. Has only 1 touchdown this season, rushing touchdown. Didn't get any receiving touchdowns. Dalvin Cook's the receiving back, but playing against a terrible rush defense, we can easily see Madsen getting a rushing touchdown, but at 5,000 is just kind of risky. Melvin Gordon, we talked about. Ty Johnson, no. I'm glad I took him out of my lineups before that game. But yeah, no. Royce Freeman, we talked about with Lindsey. It just depends. Whatever you're comfortable of spending on. One of them's going to get a touchdown. It's just which one. LaShawn McCoy here. I'd rather go Williams than McCoy. McCoy gets a decent amount of the carries, but Williams is that red zone running back. Devin Singletary at 4,700 is probably one of my favorite cheap plays here, playing against one of the worst rushing defenses. And I mean, Frank Gore gets a lot of the rushes, but I mean, you see what he averages per rush. Yeah, that's crazy. He gets a lot of receptions too, which adds to his fantasy value. You're paying 4,700 for him. Great play here against a terrible rush defense, one of the worst. See, Miles Sanders there, questionable. That's why I like Jordan Howard there. The only other one we would talk about is Adrian Peterson / Thompson. Peterson, I mean, for as old as he is, that man is still moving. The last 3 games, at least 75 yards. Has only got 1 touchdown this year. Buffalo's defense is really good. Their rush defense isn't as good as their passing defense, so you can expect Adrian Peterson to get another good 10 plus fantasy point game. That's it, guys. Everyone else is too much of a risk, GPP than cash. So hope you guys enjoyed the double video here. Went over a lot of players. Sorry about missing the upload yesterday. We'll have an upload again tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you